Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, just like Lawbree, Lil Wayne let longtime fans feel cheated as he releases the Carter 6, the musical equivalent of frozen fries reheated. The same way DJ Akademiks looks at a salad, rap fans looked at Wayne in disgust, desperately and doubtfully depending on the Carter 6 not to be a bust. But it was, and that's okay, cause creatively it accomplished exactly what Wayne wanted to do, taking risks with the Carter 6 and bringing beastly elephant sounds to it like it's a zoo. And who am I and who are you to tell rap royalty what he should or shouldn't do? So in this video, we'll properly put the project's positives in perspective and point out the good that the critics never knew. But first, make sure to drop a like and subscribe like toilet water to a poo. Now, Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, I was tasked with the challenge here of looking at the Carter 6 from a positive perspective and giving it a good review. Who gave me this task? Well, no one. But as a longtime Wayne fan and a big-time hater over the last 4 days, I said, you know what? I'm like, almost 30 right now, right? And when the Carter 4 came out, that received a lot of hate on the internet, but me being like, 14 years old at the time, I understood that it wasn't, up to par with the Carter 3, but I still appreciated it. And maybe there's some kids out there that are just like that 14-year-old me, and I'm just being the old head hater right now. So I've given myself the last couple days to listen to this album with the mindset of, this isn't some blank slate, right? Because if it's a blank slate, then I'll just go back to hating. But no, instead, I wanted to listen to this album and approach it with ears of kindness. I wanted to say, I can only focus on the positives that I'm hearing right now, and if I hear something negative, then I skip to the next track. And so I've compiled a list. We have an entire list here of many different things that are actually positive with this project. So we are only going to focus on the good here. And I think by the end of this video, you'll actually walk out saying, you know what? Maybe I got to give this album another spin. If not for the elephant sounds, then at least for the strong performances that Wayne attempts to give us on multiple occasions. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Carter 6 is actually quite amazing when you break down certain aspects of it. So, aspect number one that we'll be breaking down, the cover art. I think Wayne does a really good job at capturing the essence of what a Carter album is supposed to look like on the outside looking in, right? This was actually one of the bigger problems I had with the Carter 5. Now, obviously, album covers are far from the most relevant thing about an actual project, but when it comes to the Carter albums, I'm trying to do my fantastic hip-hop voice, this is one of the most legendary hip-hop series in all of rap music, right? And going back to the Carter 3, the covers have always been iconic. Even the second Carter album, right? Like, that was a spin-off of Jay-Z's In My Lifetime Volume 2 album cover, but you definitely recognize Lil Wayne posted up on that Rolls Royce as a very memorable album artwork from 2000s hip-hop projects. Maybe it's because the album was actually good, right? Like, when an album is good enough, it doesn't matter how bad the cover is, it eventually becomes iconic because of how much people end up spreading and talking about the album itself. Look at like Kanye's Dark Twisted Fantasy cover, right? Like, when that first came out, at least I thought, what the hell is this? 90% of the time you actually see that cover, it's actually censored because it's supposed to picture like two cartoon animals having, doing the deed. Even when I bought the CD, the cover art was censored itself, but like, because of how iconic that album is, the album artwork, by default, even though it's censored, has still become iconic as well. So it's kind of the same thing with the Carter 2, and it's most definitely the same thing with the Carter 3, right? The classic cover with Baby Wayne with his face tats, and they've been kind of going with that theme ever since then, ever since the Carter 3. I had my gripes with the Carter 5. That was actually my least favorite part of the entire album, was the fact that I didn't feel like they did the album cover justice. I get it. Like, I like the fact and I appreciate the fact that he was pictured up with his mother, but they could have went for a better picture. Like, if this cover art was released today, I would have said it was AI. And I think he brought it back right on theme with the Carter 6. This looks like it picks up right where the Carter 3 and 4 left off. Each project featuring a picture of Lil Wayne slightly older and with all the updated tattoos. I like it. I think it was cool. And they had this special purple vinyl album cover, which was really dope. If I didn't really not like the album, I would have probably bought this vinyl. But hey, maybe by the end of this video, I'll convince myself that this album was good enough to actually purchase a physical copy of it. As of right now, this is the first Carter album that I don't actually own a physical copy of. Like I said, again, I'm almost 30. I come from the CD era. Alright, so that's the first thing that was amazing about this project, the album artwork. Now, the second aspect I like about this project is the fact that very few of the songs actually sound outdated. Now, what I mean by that is, if you guys remember the Carter 5, that was a project that was about 4 or 5 years at least in the making, and a lot of the songs were recorded in 2014. And you could definitely tell, whether it was Wayne's performance, the beat, the production, or the features, a lot of the songs, while they were very good, they did sound like they captured a certain era sound, and it wasn't when the album actually released. The album came out in 2018. Go back and spin that Kendrick Lamar feature on Carter 5. Like, that sounds exactly like the To Pimp a Butterfly era of Kendrick Lamar. Everything from the voice he's using, the way he raps, you know that was recorded in 2014. And it's the same thing with a lot of the songs on there. The song Famous with his daughter Regine. The song Open Safe with that 2014 sounding Mustard beat. The song Start This Stuff Off Right sounds like it belongs on a 1990s Cash Money album. Can't Be Broken, Hitters, Let It All Work Out. These were all songs that were recorded around 2014, 2015 when Cash Money wasn't allowing Wayne to actually release the project. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but the positive with the Carter 6 is that the music doesn't necessarily fit a certain era. Aside from maybe the track with Big X The Plug, none of it sounds like it belongs in 2025, but it also doesn't sound like it belongs to another era. Specifically an era when Wayne was more dominant in. It kind of just sounds like a bunch of music that Wayne was in a flow state making and authentic to what he actually wanted to make. Whether you like it or you hate it, it's hard to really put a lot of this music in a certain box or time capsule. Now, the next aspect that I like about this project is the fact that Weezy is taking a lot of risks with the Carter 6. Wayne has done it all, right? Like, he's explored rock and roll, he's explored R&B, he's explored pop, crossover radio music, reggae. He's collaborated with every artist in every genre, right? So, like, what else is there for him to do? What boundaries can he push at this point? Well, you can definitely tell that he asked himself that question when recording the Carter 6, because there's a lot of risks, especially sonically, right? I mean, of course, we're going to touch on that wonderful, amazing Elephant record, but just off the production alone, a lot of people have been saying it was a producer of the album or soundtrack or Broadway musical Hamilton. I don't really know. I don't keep up with this stuff. But it was someone outside of the realm of hip-hop that produced that song. Actually, let me pay my respects here and get the info correct. All right, it was produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He is an American songwriter, actor, singer, filmmaker, rapper. Actually, he's a rapper and librettist. And he created the Broadway musical Hamilton. And this song definitely sounds like something out of a children's musical. Like, did you guys have to do like plays and stuff like that when you were in elementary school? I remember I had to dress up literally as an elephant one year. I believe it was kindergarten. And this sounds like something I would have sang there, right? Like, what up, though? Oh my gosh, cutthroat. He took some risks there. He also took some risks by rapping over the classic Ave Maria sample performed by opera singer, opera legend Andrea Bocelli. And you see, I gained a lot of culture and knowledge off of just listening to this project, because I knew of Ave Maria, but I didn't know who Andrea Bocelli was. I actually thought it was a woman by just the sound of the name. And you guys had corrected me in the comments. So that's one thing I'm very thankful for, right? Like, I've been following Wayne's career forever. I'm very thankful that now I got this channel, I got you guys to actually react to the music in real time too. So that's a big positive to me about, you know, this album releasing in this era. And I mean, it's kind of cool to see Wayne explore, you know, or challenge himself with these different types of productions and incorporating these different genres or elements into the music, right? Like, it'd be very hard to make a beat sampling elephants sound good, right? And put it like this is probably the most streamed song in the history of music that features an elephant. Just another record that Wayne has casually broken. He also took the risks of featuring his 13, 14-year-old sons on this project, and I have a lot of respect for them, because it seems like at least his younger son, Lil Navi, is very serious about trying to pursue a career in rapping, and he's a young kid, right? We're not going to judge his actual performance on the record, but I do think that being, you know, a multi-platinum rapper trying to make a 13-year-old sound good on a legendary hip-hop album series is a respectable challenge to take on, regardless of how the final product is. And I like how Wayne is rapping about the family dynamics on those records with his sons, right? Like, he's talking about how Nipsey Hussle's son with Lauren London is like a son to Wayne, because Wayne also has a son with Lauren London. I do wish that, you know, he elaborated more on that topic and a lot of other things that he's been through in the past, you know, decade, but now we're getting negative. So we're going to move on there and only keep it positive. I'll have another video elaborating on kind of everything Wayne's been through over the last decade. And believe me, there's a lot that he could have been touching on this project. So stay tuned for that video. I mean, he also took the risk of, you know, incorporating some country sounds into this project. I don't think he's ever done that before, right? Featuring Jelly Roll on the song with Big Sean, Sharks. He took the risk of featuring some newcomers in hip-hop on here, right? Big X The Plug. He's still progressing his rock and roll music, right? That he kind of paused after Rebirth, which was already 15 years ago. He's bringing that back to life on this project. You might not like the final result, but, if you're a fan of different genres, there is a lot of risks that Wayne is taking here and some elements that you could appreciate from it. And that leads us into the next factor that I really like about the album, which is when Wayne actually opens up and gets a little personal. So, like I said earlier, there's not many moments of this happening, right? Like, there's a lot of topics he could have spoken on that he chose not to, but there are some glimpses of Wayne opening up about, his childhood, some trauma he experienced, his current perspective on fatherhood, and I want to highlight some of these because I think, it's really important as fans of Wayne, not just as an artist, but as a human who's been in the rap game for over 3 decades at this point. He might be living in Wayne's world now, just consumed with, the luxury of fame, money, women, etc. Regardless of that, he's been through a lot throughout his life. So it's really, refreshing and interesting to hear him rap bars like, I walk out of the delivery room with blood all over me. I love you, Miss Sita, like Mother Teresa. And every time I pray, I never forget her. My daddy a heathen. He beat on my mama. So every time I see her face, I kiss it. They love you this evening, they hate you mañana. And there's no tomorrow, said that yesterday. And though life can be bittersweet, no company for the misery. Feeling free like a bird, no words, Kenny G, never knew I was mental, till I shot myself accidentally. Or my favorite set of bars, which comes on one of the album's highlights, in my opinion, one of the best songs off this project, Being Myself, produced by Manny Fresh. Again, seeing Wayne not really experiment because, of course, a lot of the earlier Wayne music was solely produced by Manny Fresh, but he hasn't really tackled many Manny Fresh beats in the last damn near 2 decades. So very refreshing to see him on modern Manny Fresh production. And he's definitely, rapping at a high level here and talking about some heavy things. He says, saw so many mother effing C notes, I'm tone deaf. Saw my grandmother drink herself to her own death. Lost both of her feet, but never lost one step. Take a long break cause grandmother gone, yes. Pop was a Rolling Stone and he still ain't come home yet. I dealt with some stuff, I ain't sprayed the cologne yet. I stand on business in some Nikes that guys won't check. I blew up before y'all guys was bomb threats. Get off my lawn because your lawn chair ain't a throne yet. I have to stop there because again, we're stopping anytime I have something negative to say, and the bars after this don't really stand out to me, to say the least. And then on the outro track, he continues reflecting on the abuse that he witnessed his mother experience as a child when he raps, eat the cake, never beat a woman for Misita's sake. Misita is his mother. And he also touches on, his current role as a father figure later in this song, rapping, I'm gonna make a statement every time though, ovation and the encore. I be looking at my kids' faces where the time go. They know I'm amazing and their moms know. I'm a slate every time though. I ain't playing, I'm coach. Also touching on his legacy in the final verse of this project and, emphasizing and realizing that, he's very late in the game, right? 3 decades in, but he's still in top form. They know I'm the greatest of all time. I'm like what MJ is to LeBron, Brady in his prime. I'm like Tom Brady at 45. And I ain't even debating on retiring. So, there is some food for thought on this project when Wayne isn't rapping about eating punani. No punani pun intended there. And now we get into the 5th, I believe, thing that I think is amazing about this project, which is actually the intro. And I'm not just talking about the first track off this project. I think the entire way that Wayne structures the opening of this album between the first 3 songs is actually really strong. And as far as the first song where we actually hear Wayne rapping, you could make the argument that that's Wayne's best intro to an album since the Carter 3. That's why a lot of people were kind of upset at this project, because it did start off on a really high note with that first song, Welcome to the Carter. Like, he's rapping at a high level, the beat slaps, the hook is nice. It checks almost every box here. And I mean, really think about it, right? Like, what was the last great Lil Wayne intro that we got off a Carter album, or really any album he's put out? I like the intro to the Free Weezy album, Glory. I think he goes in on that one. Carter 4, the intro wasn't great. Carter 5, the song with XXX, Don't Cry, that was okay. I still think this one's better. What else are you going to go to, right? Rebirth? Like, really, aside from that, you have the Carter 3 to look back on, all the way in 2008. I think he hasn't put out an intro as good as the Carter 3 until right now. The album opens up with this really cinematic intro. You got this little spoken word kind of poem from, I don't know who it is, but she's just kind of introducing Lil Wayne. You get these chants, King Carter, over and over again on this triumphant beat. Like, I actually really wish Wayne spat on this beat, but it was a cool transition into the actual first, rapping song off this project, Welcome to the Carter, where again, Wayne is doing what he needs to do here. He's rapping at a high level. I had said I wasn't really a fan initially of the subject matter on this song because he's kind of just talking about, drugs, women, whatever the case is. But this is Wayne's world, right? He's welcoming you to the Carter. This is what is going on in his life. So I can't fault him for living a life that I'm sure many rock stars aspire to live to. And then the third song here, initially, I didn't really like it, but it kind of grew on me, honestly. Like, it reminds me a lot of the energy he was going for on the 6 foot, 7 foots, the Millies, where he's just coming in with this aggressive, like, hungry delivery, bar after bar. I love the way the track, like, first starts off, like, the first 20 seconds of it, like, L.I.N. Wayne is sharp as nails, hammer anybody that talk that ill, thuggin' since I came out of jail. And then you get the beat drop, like, there's a time and place for all these records, and this one definitely goes off at the gym. And if I could find a setting for where to actually enjoy this music, then I can't criticize it. So yeah, the overall first song off this project and just the, beginning of the album in general, like the first 3 or 4 songs, I do think it's a decently strong start to a Lil Wayne project. Like, think about I'm Not a Human Being 2, right? When he starts off that project saying, I'm in the crib butt naked, my girl said that my D could be the next black president, and then he ends that intro song off saying, no rubber, I just F this piano. I think we get a better build up to the album, and it actually feels like, strong sequencing and actual intent behind like the beginning development of this project than a lot of other Wayne projects. It feels like, a real intro. They tried to make it feel cinematic. There's some real effort behind the execution of everything on the first few tracks. So as far as introductions go, this feels like a Carter album. I respect it. And another thing I respect about this project is Big Sean's feature. Big Sean, I mean, he's got to show and prove something at some point, right? Like, I know we heard a project from him last year. I don't even remember what it was called. Extremely, extremely forgettable album. And I used to really think that Big Sean could have been at least what like a Tyler, the Creator is today. Like, I think he could have gone a little bit more of an experimental approach. I think he always had something somewhat meaningful to say within his music. He's made some bangers before. He's made some hit songs before. He's made some strong introspective records before. And he's capable of really rapping at a high level. But he hasn't really been showing improvement since, like, I don't know what, 2017? Like, when was the last time we heard a memorable Big Sean album? But just like Joey Badass, I think Big Sean is gearing up to do something big. If it's not in 2025, then, in the next couple years. Like, he's definitely showing improving, and his feature on this project is no different. So he appears on the song with Jelly Roll, Sharks, and he has the best verse of this song and maybe even this entire album, to be honest. He has a very long verse, but his flow, he catches a really nice pocket in the middle of the verse, and I like some of these bars a lot. I'm getting off like the proof is missing, and my worst trait is that I'm too forgiving, because I always listen when I shouldn't have listened, even though y'all never made the city proud, and y'all ain't never had your family down feeling stuck, and you were the only one who had to stick it out, but like their bank accounts, it's all figured out. Miss my guys so much, almost dig them out, all my exes miss me because they're missing out. I'm finna pop my stuff till I fizzle out. Whatever. It's okay, right? This is a solid verse. I brought up Joey Badass because they were both on the Red Bull cypher also. I forgot if I mentioned that before. But yeah, I think, with that cypher, with everything Joey's been doing and now what Big Sean has been doing, I think they're leading up to do some big things. And I love how Wayne has showed Big Sean more love than Kanye West, who actually signed Big Sean, has ever shown Sean. Like, Kanye had said signing Big Sean was the worst mistake he ever made in his entire career. Meanwhile, Wayne has showed Sean tons of love. Like, they have multiple collaborations together on their best collab together, Deep, which is one of Wayne's best verses in the last 10 years. He raps, I feel like Big Sean don't get enough shine. Is it because he doesn't have the tattoos? He ain't throwing up signs? Well, let me throw up mine. And let me shed his vision a rhyme. F the finish line, just finish your rhymes. And if getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. Remember that. If they don't remember you, they remember rap. So just spit it back and hope somebody's digging that, because this stuff gets deep. That was a phenomenal verse. But yeah, it's nice to see Wayne continue showing Sean support here and letting him really take the stage to have one of the best verses on this entire album. Another thing I love about the Carter 6 is that it also opened me up to having a newfound appreciation for Big X the Plug. I didn't really know too much of his music beforehand. I know he did a country song recently, and of course he's from Texas and really, encapsulates that raw Texas sound, which I love. Him and Mexican OT, I think, are really doing a great job bringing in, this new modern era for Texas music in general. And I mean, I'm from Canada, but the only place I go off in America is actually Texas. So I love Texas. Shout out to Big X the Plug. I mean, his hook on this song was so good that, I mean, not only did he outshine Wayne here, but first of all, it sounded like it could have been a verse. Forget just a hook. Wayne obviously loved his part, because by the time the chorus rolled around for the second second time, Wayne was singing the entire thing behind Big X's vocals. And yeah, he really stole the show here. And this seems, as of right now, that this is the only song that's really been sticking on the charts from the entire album. And rightfully so. Like, this was a huge banger, for sure. The song Hip Hop, Big X the plug. Shout out to him. He saved the day here. Did I mention that he brought his kids along for the ride on this album? That's another aspect I like. I know I spoke on, his kids having features here, but I think we got to take a second to appreciate the fact that this is now the second Carter where Wayne has featured 3 of his, I believe, 4 kids that he has. Maybe he only has 3. And if he does, then he's 3 for 3 here, right? Like, he's featured all of his children on his albums, and they're not just, delivering a little speech or whatever. Like, they're actually rapping, singing, like, they're doing the whole 9 yards. I believe his mom was also on the Carter 5. So Wayne's obviously a family man. That's cool to see, like, featuring his entire family on all these projects. That's great. Now, another thing I like is that there's no controversy on this album. Unlike Drake with his similarly lackluster project this year, Some Sexy Sleepy Lullaby Love Songs for You, where we saw him, taking shots at Kendrick, taking shots at Joe Budden, taking shots at a bunch of people, talking about if Kendrick was ruling the rap game, then all these women would be twerking on stage with a dictionary at a strip club. Wayne, for the most part on this project, relatively stays out of the drama, right? Like, he's not taking useless shots at Kendrick Lamar. He's not whining about the Super Bowl. There's no drama. There's no clickbait. It's all just straight good vibes here, right? And what more could we want from the Carter albums than just good vibes? That's it. You're gonna tell me that it at least didn't look like Wayne was having a good time recording this thing? And that gets into my next compliment about the Carter 6, which is gonna be the fact that Wayne is rapping at the goofiest level that he ever has. And I say this in actually a positive way. I've always appreciated Wayne for the outlandish bars that only Wayne himself could think of, right? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. What was the one I quoted before? I'm in the crib butt naked. My girl said my D could be the next black president. What about I'm a shark in the water. I swim with the big, so I don't have time to deal with Willie the Squid. That was a diss against Gilly the Kid, and I'm sorry, that's better than any Drake diss that he sent to Kendrick Lamar throughout all of 2024. I mean, the Drought 3, that's Wayne's most praised mixtape of all time, right? That's my favorite Wayne mixtape of all time. And he has bars on there like, I'm a giant like Fee Fi Fo Fum. He definitely ups the goofiness on the Carter 6, 1000%. So let's go through some of these bars. They're very good. Like Colorado, I'm primary. Don't talk that ish. No commentary. Just shake that shh like a library. Flow so clean, got me tiptoeing. D so big, almost tripped over it. I came on her belly, that's star jelly. You get it? Star jelly? What about 8 the D, she wants sloppy seconds? What about she's a man-eater and I was just an appetizer, but if stuff gets out of hand, I keep sanitizer. She said, I'm too hot for your butt, and now my pants on fire. Alright, one bar that's unacceptable is on the song with his son where Wayne raps, that's my son, he's my youngest. I told that guy, get money, he done it. He take after me, I'm the big apple tree. And you know that the apple don't fall too far from it. He's only 14, but that's nothing but numbers. He effing your daughter, I'm effing your woman. We get to the bread like a bun in the oven. Now, that bar he could have left on the cutting room table. But he makes up for it here. This is the best bar off the project. Before I let you piss me off, I'll pee on myself. Alright, here's a good one. B-word, 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 make a guy rich, rich, rich. I like the punani deep dish, and when it goes squish, squish, squish. Oh no, this one might take the cake. The best bar off this project. I don't smoke bunk, I only smoke that strong. My eyes tight, like my name Wong Ding Ding Dong. Or don't act like my N-word today and a white man tomorrow. And he delivers these, in these good pockets. Like, Wayne's energy is up to the max on this album. I mean, there's some songs where he sounds half asleep, to be fair, but on a lot of these songs, like, he's rapping like he's on a lot of Adderall or something. And he even raps about being on Adderall here with, a really good rhyme scheme as well. I mean, I'm not so appreciative of the actual content within the bars, but the way he's setting up the words, the way they flow, it's kind of cool. I treat sweet, smart girls like candy, like nerds. I know the feds cameras observe, cause the cash is absurd. I mean, the house is so effing massive, I just added concierge. Empathetic, I splurge. On Addies, I surge. On Xannies, I slurs. On shrooms, I'm nothing but a fantasizer. The DMT got me thinking I'm an analyzer. Smoking on a pure L, no sanitizer. Really giving us exquisite, intricate detailing into the inner thoughts and emotions and sensations he's experiencing while on all these different types of substances. And doing it while rhyming very well, nonetheless. Now we get to one of the final things that I like about this project, which is that of all the Stevie Wonder bars that Wayne has had throughout his entire career, and he's had a lot and some of them are very good, I believe we get the best one on the Carter 6. So if you guys don't know the song She Will, Lil Wayne and Drake off the Carter 4, that's one of my favorite Lil Wayne singles from the Carter albums. And on there, Wayne continues this refrain at the end of his verses where he raps, "I'm Ray Charles to the BS, now jump up on that D and do a full split." Initially, there's footage of him recording the verse before it was released, and before it was Ray Charles, he actually said, "I'm Stevie Wonder to the BS." So, that was a Stevie Wonder bar, technically, but I think we got a much better one on the song Flex Up, which actually might be the highlight of the album from a Sonics perspective. Like, Wayne is playing it pretty safe here. I've seen people say that this sounds like a Future leftover throwaway song, but I would argue by saying Future would not exist or wouldn't be able to have the inspiration to put out this type of music if Wayne didn't do it first. If Wayne didn't come out with songs like Lollipop or PR Ostitute or Can't Believe It with T-Pain, like all that heavy auto-tune crooning that he was doing early on, that he was a real pioneer of, there would be no Future without that. So, when Wayne makes a Future throwaway song at this point, my counter argument is Future wouldn't exist without Wayne. And I think Future would say that as well. But yeah, this song is called Flex Up. And on it, on the hook, he raps, "Just talked to Hove and he told me he seen me. Funny, heard the same thing when I talked to Stevie." Now, this is obviously in reference to the fact that Jay-Z chose Kendrick Lamar to be the Super Bowl halftime performer in New Orleans this year. And this was really the only controversial bar on this entire project, unless you want to refer to, him saying "my eyes are tight like wing ding ding dong" as controversial, which I guess it kind of is. Damn near maybe racist, I don't know. Xenophobic, whatever the right term is. But in terms of actual controversy that Wayne was roped into, it was only about really the Super Bowl, right? And this was the only reference that we really get on this entire project, which is that he was talking to Hove, aka Jay-Z. Jay-Z was telling him, like, "I see you, like, I respect what you're doing. I see what you're doing." And he said, "Funny, when I was talking to Stevie Wonder, who's blind, he told me the same thing, like, I see you. But Stevie Wonder can't see." So Wayne is implying here that Hove, Jay-Z, is full of BS when he's telling him, "I see you, Wayne, because obviously you don't see me or else you would have put me on that Super Bowl stage." It's the same thing when Stevie says he sees me. Both of you guys are blind to the greatness I've been producing. And speaking of greatness being produced, that leads us to the final highlight off the album, the magnificent, stupendously superb Snuffleupagus Peanuts to an Elephant banger. Now, what I love about Peanuts to an Elephant is how funny it is that the first freaking thing you hear on this track is an elephant scrawling or screeching, whatever the hell that sound is from an elephant with his trunk when he goes like, that's the noise you literally hear when that song first turns on. And the funny, hilarious thing about this thing is that this song is placed on the track list right after an absolutely atrocious song. So the song right before Peanuts to an Elephant is If I Played Guitar. It's like this horrible love, like pop ballad type song like that Taylor Swift maybe would have wrote if she lost like half her brain cells and half her writing team. Like, it's a terrible song. And it plays right before this elephant song. So whenever all these reaction channels have been listening to the album in order, they get to that horrible If I Played Guitar love ballad song. They stop it and they're like, okay, like the album has officially reached its low point. There's no getting lower than this freaking song right here. And then they click play on this elephant song, and the first thing they hear is an elephant sound effect. And it's just like the irony of like you're getting lower and lower and lower in terms of quality, and you're like, there's no way we could get worse than this. And then the first thing you hear when you press play is a freaking elephant screeching in your ear. Like, there's not a funnier way to have a full-fledged album listening experience than to hear an elephant shrieking in your ear after you said, there's no way that this album can get crazier than what I've already just heard. Like, look at Sean C. He's halfway through the project, or he's right at the point where he gets that elephant song, and he's looking at the bottom of the track list. He sees an MGK feature. He's like, where the hell are we going with this thing? This is absolutely awful. And then he hits play, and here's this elephant. Like, look at this.
Songs with features. One of them with MGK and Kodak. We just throwing shit at the wall at this point. When we get to the end, it's just like, I don't even know what the about to happen.
It makes for great content at the very least. And of course, Wayne comes in with, you know, the elephant punchlines, the wordplay on elephant, calling himself Snuffleupagus or calling you Snuffleupagus, the haters, whatever. Someone is Snuffleupagus here. My mom used to let me bump the Carter 2 album in her car when I was like 10 years old or whatever. So I told her that the Carter 6 just came out. She said, how is it? I said, well, you know, he's talking about Snuffleupagus, and she's a preschool teacher. So she's like, that would have been perfect for you instead of the Carter 2 way back in the day. Like, you should have been listening to the Snuffleupagus bars instead. I'm like, yeah, well, Mom, on the Carter 2, he wasn't rapping about, you know, shooting star jelly on a woman or being high and having his eyes look like wing ding ding dong and being on DMT and all that. So I think the Carter 2 subject matter was actually safer than listening to the Carter 6 if you're a vulnerable, impressionable little kid. Mind you, he does have his 14-year-old son on this project, though, and he's talking about how he's effing on someone's daughter. So I don't know, is this family friendly? Is this safe for children to hear? I don't know. Elephant sounds are pretty family friendly. And to go back to what I was saying, positive about the album is that Wayne is still rapping at an elite level, like in terms of just him, you know, spitting straight bars. Like, they're still there. It's just the production is really, really bad. So look at this. Like, when you actually switch out the Peanuts to an Elephant beat to something that actually sounds a little more palatable, if that's the right word, like, you actually get a pretty good song. Like, this really sounds like vintage Wayne.
What up, dope? I'm a cutthroat. Front rows, it's that gas mask face, ass straight gun smoke. Crack, and I'ma have to go Dumbo, the Dungo.
Lil Wayne is probably top 5 greatest rappers of all time. It's really not hard to make this fool sound good. Like, the production really had to be some crazy ass for this fool to sound terrible. Like, it's nuts.
And that's about it. All right, I completed my challenge. 30 straight minutes almost of praising the Carter 6. Please like this video, because that is the most effort I ever put into trying to find the positives in something that I felt so negatively about. And this, again, all stems back to the fact that I've been a huge Wayne fan since my early childhood. This was my go-to rapper for a very, very long time. And I want to make the argument that I don't think we all just outgrew Wayne. I think Wayne just has not evolved. And if anything, he's regressed. His punchlines, his flows, everything was a lot more advanced in the 2007-2008 era. And I hate how people are now trying to downplay his legacy. Just because an artist puts out one bad album does not mean that everything in their catalog is horrible or has always been. Wayne was a top-tier rapper for a very long time. He's put out phenomenal bodies of work, whether it's mixtapes or albums, because I'm seeing a lot of people say that, oh, Wayne was just a mixtape artist this entire time. No, go back and listen to the Carter 3 in full. All right, like, it's not just Mr. Carter and Dr. Carter. There are many amazing records on that project. Tie My Hands, Playing with Fire, Shoot Me Down, Don't Get It, Misunderstood, Three-Peat. Like, go back and listen to that thing. Go back and listen to the Carter 5, Open Letter, Mona Lisa, Let It All Work Out. Go back and listen to all the leaked Lil Wayne songs. Cry Out. That is one of the most amazing rap songs that has ever come out. I'll stand by that. Go listen to that song. Georgia Bush, Trouble, Something You Forgot. Don't forget Lil Wayne's legacy, all right? Something You Forgot is an actual song title. But don't forget that something you should not forget is Lil Wayne's legacy and how amazing of a rapper he has been for a very long time. Is he still rapping at a high level? Yes. Is it very nice to see that he's still having fun, experimenting, and really just rapping for the sake of the love of the sport, right? You could tell that's what he's doing here. Him and Eminem both, like, they're kind of a little bit directionless right now, or if not directionless, then at least not really in touch with what maybe their fans want from them this stage in their career, unlike a Nas or a Jay-Z. But at the end of the day, they're doing this out of pure passion. So you got to respect that. And that's why I went back to try and find a lot of the positives out of this album. Because I think when we look back on this in 5 to 10 years from now, maybe it won't be, you know, an influential project, right? Like a lot of Wayne albums that people trashed early on, even the Carter 4, Rebirth, I'm Not a Human Being 2, people trashed those albums when they first came out. And when you go back and listen to them, there are some aspects of those projects that have influenced this current generation of artists, the Playboi Cartis, Uzis, Kodak Blacks, etc. And aside from that, there were some amazing moments on all those projects. Drop the World, She Will, Love Me. Like, we got some classic hits from Wayne and some classic deep cuts from Wayne on those records. So hopefully this album ages well with time as well. But only time will tell. So I wish you well, and let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you in the next one.